Hello,
Hello, I'm Katie Nickel, an educator with the Ringling Museum.
and I'm Ben Jewel-Plocker, an educator with Embracing Our Differences.
And today we're going to explore works of art from the Ringling Museum's collection and the Embracing Our Differences annual exhibit.
Now, Katie, I know the collection at the Ringling is ginormous, and Embracing Our Differences has over 17 annual exhibits worth of art to explore. So how are we going to decide what pieces to share with our friends today?
Well, Ben, I was thinking we could explore pieces with the theme Girl Power.
I love that idea, and I already have a slide ready for it too.
That's so funny. What a coincidence. Well, Ben, as you know, this theme has been on my mind a lot lately since 2020 marks the 100th anniversary of the passage of the 19th Amendment, which guarantees and protects women's right to vote in the US Constitution.
And girl power fits perfectly with Embracing Our Differences vision of a world that embraces diversity, respects differences, and actively rejects hatred and prejudices.
Respecting differences is so important. And that makes me think how easy it is to be fearful when you don't understand something or you meet someone new.
I know what you mean, Katie. So, for example, the new kid at school may seem strange or scary, but when you take the time to get to know them, you realize how cool they are. So you find out that the coolest people really do come in the most unique packages. So Katie, can I get us started by sharing one of my favorite pieces from the 2020 Embracing Our Differences exhibit with you?
Of course, Ben, take it away.
So this piece is by Joanna Porter from the city of Issaquah in Washington State and is titled Ancestral Passage. So right off the bat, the word passage gets me thinking about a long, difficult, epic quest or journey.
Like the final Harry Potter book, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows?
Definitely one of my favorites. Or for those of you who are a little bit older, perhaps the Indiana Jones movies. Which, do you know the theme to the Indiana Jones movies, Katie?
Of course I know the theme, Ben.
Can you share it with me?
Of course. Are you ready? Will you sing along?
I will sing along.
Okay, good. Ready?
Da 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 da. Da 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 da. This is where we would cue the applause sound effect. Thank you everyone. So unlike both those examples and our beautiful singing right now, unlike both those examples, the characters portrayed in this piece of art are all women. And I don't know about you, Katie, but I often feel pop culture chooses to portray men as leaders of epic journeys. But there are lots of women explorers out there that deserve our praise as well.
That's for sure.
So what do you think we can learn, Katie, about the women in this painting based on the clues provided by the artist?
Well, immediately I see that the women are of different ethnicities.
Totally. We don't just have one type of individual represented here. We see multiple cultures and identities represented.
I also see that the ship they are in has the name Liberty on the back.
And what do you think the artist is trying to tell us by naming the ship Liberty?
That's a good question. I think maybe the women are in pursuit of liberty.
Okay, and what makes you think that?
Well, the boat is moving forward with the waves or the currents. Although I guess I should really say that the bottle that the boat and the women are inside of are moving forward.
Yes, one of the biggest features in this piece is the bottle. So one might even say it's the focal point of the image.
Look at you pulling out the visual art lingo. But I would agree. The bottle is definitely the focal point or the center of activity in the image. If you look closely, you can even see that the bottom portion of the bottle below the water line, which is super cool. And not only that, you can easily see the outline of the entire bottle above water, which is not an easy feat when drawing a clear and translucent object.
So now I have a big question for you. What do you think the bottle represents?
Well, perhaps it's a take on the age-old and often romanticized practice of placing messages in bottles and sending them out to the sea with the hope that the message will be found by someone, anyone, really. For us younger people out here, it also reminds me of the Nintendo game Animal Crossing, where a lot of your daily tasks and messages get delivered through a bottle.
So I'm definitely going to have to leave that pop culture reference to you younger kids out there. But I did have the same thought about the message in a bottle. And I think it might be a message of hope, either within those who are making the journey towards freedom that we see in the painting, or for those who will make that journey in the future.
That's a really great point, Ben. That makes me think a lot. I believe there's an artist statement that goes along with this piece, right? Perhaps the artist has also shared their thoughts.
There is indeed an artist statement. Each piece submitted to the Embracing Our Differences exhibit comes with a statement directly from the artist, and Miss Porter said the following about her piece. My artwork honors all the brave women who leave behind their homelands, family, and friends to seek freedom and a better life in a new place. This mixed media digital drawing was created in response to the very real struggle refugees face. This message in a bottle is a wish for tolerance and multicultural acceptance. So fun fact, Miss Porter's piece is one of 50 that was selected out of 16,118 submissions for the 2020 exhibit. But you already know all about that, Katie, since you were on the panel of 5 judges who selected the pieces this year.
That's right.
So can I ask you what the most exciting part of the process, or what you enjoyed most about the process this time?
Well, it was really amazing to see the thousands and thousands and thousands of submissions from people all over the world. But the selection panel was also an opportunity for me to personally meet new people and make friends with people that I may not have met otherwise.
So since I have you in the hot seat, I'm going to ask you one additional question. Who is your favorite female explorer?
Sacagawea actually is one of my all-time favorite female explorers. Sacagawea was a member of the Lewis and Clark expedition of 1805 to 1806. It was a pretty famous expedition. But Sacagawea's skills as a translator were really invaluable, as was her intimate knowledge of the difficult terrain that the expedition encountered. But perhaps most significant of all was Sacagawea's skillful interactions with the native communities that the explorers encountered. And these communities might have otherwise been hostile to the strangers without Sacagawea's help. Remarkably, she did all of this while caring for her son that she bore just 2 months before departing.
That's amazing. And I love that Sacagawea is one of your favorite explorers too, because as a Midwesterner, the legend of Lewis and Clark was all around me as a child, but Sacagawea was often left out or fictionalized or just completely oversimplified.
Yeah, which is definitely a huge problem. And it makes me wonder if the same could be said about the women who are in this painting.
Yeah, you know, another interpretation for the bottle could be that the women are trapped and reliant on someone else to get their message out. So the bottle could be reflective in some ways of women not having a voice in ours or other societies.
That's a really interesting point, Ben. I'm going to have to think about that one some more. But thank you for sharing that work of art with me.
Well, thank you for letting me share it with you, because I loved hearing your thoughts. And one of my favorite things about art is we all see something different, and we can learn so much more when we share with others.
Exactly. That's one of my favorite things about art as well. In fact, Ben, looking at Ancestral Passage reminds me of a painting we have at the Ringling Museum. It's called Esther Before Azahiris, and it was painted by the Italian artist Antonio Palma in 1574. So it was made a few years before ancestral passage.
Yeah, you just give or take about 450 years, right?
Yeah, fair enough. It was painted a really long time ago. And this painting is telling a story that is from even older than that. And this is a really old story. The painting that we see here is of a woman whose name is Esther, and she's pleading with her husband, the king, to spare the lives of her people.
Wow, that's a really scary situation. So, how did Esther get to this point?
Well, Esther is Jewish, but she lived in the Persian Empire at a time when being Jewish was illegal.
So, if she was considered an outsider, how did she get to marry a Persian king?
Well, to be fair, she was very beautiful and very kind, but she also hid who she was from everyone in the palace, including her husband.
I think I've heard of this story before. So, Esther's people were being threatened by an evil man who worked for the king, right?
Yes, that's right. She was faced with this really impossible, difficult choice. She could choose to say nothing about her heritage and let her people die or be driven from their homes, or she could risk her own life by standing up to the king and begging to save her and her people's lives.
I don't think I could imagine what I would do in a difficult situation like that.
Man, neither can I, but Esther sets a good example.
Yeah, I can see from the painting what path she chose because she's right there in front of the king.
Mhm.
So, her story reminds me a lot that it's hard to be an upstander in everyday life.
It's really hard to stand up for what's right. Bullies are scary, and taking a stand means you can never go back to hiding who you are. But it also means you can stop pretending to be something that you're not. Pride in yourself and your background is a really powerful thing.
And that reminds me of the painting from Embracing Our Differences that we just looked at in Ancestral Passage. Because remember how we talked about how comes a time when you need to leave your home for a chance of a better life?
Mhm.
I wonder, was that option available for Esther and the Jewish people in the Persian Empire?
Probably not, actually. The Jewish people were slaves or were really extremely poor at that time. They really had nowhere to go. So when Esther challenged the hatred and violence of the Persian Empire of the time, it was a really desperate last stand for the king to do what was right.
So, Katie, we've been talking about how Esther is an upstander and bravely standing up for what's right, but she's seen kneeling on the ground in this painting.
Yeah, that's a really interesting observation, Ben. I'm also noticing how stressed and concerned her ladies in waiting are. We seem to be looking at the moment right before the king decides what to do.
Ugh, that sounds so stressful, and I have to know, did Esther's plea work?
Thankfully, yes! Esther's bravery showed the king how horrible he was being to the Jewish people, and he changed the laws that would have harmed them. So this story has a really happy ending, all thanks to Esther.
That is so good to know. And, Esther reminds me a lot of Ancestral Passage. And I wonder now how she would have received the women in the bottle.
I'm wondering the same thing too. I'd like to believe that Esther would welcome these women with open arms and would help them find their place in the new world.
I think so too. All the women are showing bravery, though in different ways. And the women in the bottle are bravely choosing the hope of a new life, even though their future is uncertain.
And Esther showing bravery by standing in place and standing up for what's right, even when the personal stakes are high.
Katie, it has been so much fun talking with you about these two works of art.
It really has been, Ben. Thanks for having me.
So today we looked at two works of art and one theme, but there are infinite themes to explore and hundreds of works of art in the Ringling collections and Embracing Our Differences catalog to choose from. So with that in mind, we invite you to pick your own theme, select two images from the Ringling and Embracing Our Differences collections, and share your selections and your theme in the comments section below.
And to see more artwork from the Ringling and Embracing Our Differences collections, visit ringling.org/collections and embracingourdifferences.org/galleries.
And to see more fun activities and conversations just like this, visit ringling.org/learnfromhome and embracingourdifferences.org/lesson plans. So thank you today for exploring with me, Katie, and thank you all out there for exploring with us. And we hope to see you for more art talks soon.
And until then, keep exploring art at home and let us know what you think about the 2 pieces we explored today in the comment section below.